Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats. The one and only James Williams is back. And, to start this morning, we're going to start off. I hope you got your coffee. We're going to start off with Cory Booker losing his mind. Now, bald Booker is crazy. And the victories that America is having across the board is starting to trigger the Democratic Party. And you can always look for this triggering when you find the leadership. And one of the leaders is Booker. The other leader is Hakeem Jeffries. The other leader is AOC. My name is Ocasio-Cortez. And I want y'all to free Palestine. But I want you to listen to this rant he goes on because the Democratic poll numbers have tanked. And he figures, let me rally my base by talking crazy. No. People hate y'all because everywhere they look, the Democratic Party brings in destruction. Destruction. But hold on, I want you to hear it yourself.
The Democratic Party needs a wake-up call. I see law firms bending a knee to this president, not caring about the larger principles, that those free speech rights, that you could take on any client, why are you bending the knee? I see universities that should be bastions of free speech bending at the knee to this president. I see businesses taking late-night talk show hosts off the air because they dare to insult a president. I see people who want mergers suddenly think that they have to pay tribute to this president. And what are the very people here elected to defend the Constitution of the United States saying, oh, well, today, let's look the other way and pass some resources that won't go to Connecticut, that won't go to Illinois, that won't go to New York, that will go to the states he likes. That is complicity with an authoritarian leader who is trashing our Constitution. It's time for Democrats to have a backbone. It's time for us to fight. It's time for us to draw lines. And when it comes to the safety of my state being denied these grants, that's why I'm standing here. Don't question my integrity. Don't question my motives. I'm standing for Jersey. I am standing for my police officers. I'm standing for the Constitution, and I'm standing for what's right.
What comes to your mind when you hear what he said? I'm standing for the Constitution. I'm standing for police officers. And I'm standing for what's right. Ain't these the same mother fluffers that said they needed to defund the police? Ain't these the same mother fluffers that said that? Yeah, these them. Ain't these the same dirty sandy beaches that want to give money to illegal aliens and you can't arrest illegal aliens? Ain't these the same dirty sandy beaches that want to house illegal aliens? And he talking about grant money. Of course he upset. You want to know why? The real reason why Hakeem, the fake dream, it's not even, Cory, the bald head booger, is upset is because he can't steal no more. Yeah. See, when that spigot get turned off, you can't siphon that money. And this is what I don't get about these politicians. You've been in office long enough to steal as much money as you want. Quite frankly, you don't even have to steal money. Quite frankly, there's you get inside stock trading tips. You can make $30-40 million and leave. If I was going into government, I would go in, make my money, stay clean, do what I need to do, and leave. And then you got connections all over the world. But see, that's not enough for them. They got to dominate you. They got to take their phalluses and rub it all on your face like this. They got to just rub it like this methylene blue block. They got to go like, yeah, James, you going to take what I got for you. You over there, take it. Because they sadistic, psychopathic tricks. And look at him. Don't he look like a psychopath? Look at his eyes. No, let me see if I can make it bigger. Look at his face. Look at it. Don't he look crazy? You don't know why? Because he is crazy. But we're going to let him keep going with his crazy rant. Because this is the problem with these people.
And dear God, if you want to come at me that way, you're going to have to take it up with me. Because there's too much on the line right now in America. as people's due process rights and freedom of the speech rights and secret police are running around this country, picking people up off the streets who have a legal right to be here. There's too much going on in this country. When are we going to stand together for principles that I just heard that were agreed with? When are we going to stand together? If we don't stand as Democrats, we deserve to lose. But if we stand united, if we stand strong, if we stand with other people, if we tell with a chorus of conviction in America what this president is doing is wrong, if we stand up and speak that way, dear God, we will win. Like all of those people at our ancestors who joined hands together and said, we shall overcome.
I got bad news for you, Corey. I got real bad news for you, Corey. You see, you guys made yourselves enemies of the God in heaven. Yeah. When you smuggled all them children over here, when you supported people going in the wrong bathrooms, when you decided you're going to let people cut up their private parts and say all this other stuff and do what you're going to do with all these weirdos, you became an enemy of God. And you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when you become God's enemies, there's a written rule for God's enemies. They come in one way and they scattered 7 ways. And so as we see the Democratic Party scattering, this is what he's upset about. Now, if you've been with me for a while, we went over the Democratic warfare. I'll be happy to real quickly go over to our board and we'll take a look at it. But we're going to let this clown finish talking. That's why the Democratic Party rating is so low, because they've been scattered. That's why I got so upset and angry when it came down to Donald Trump and what I would say the mouthpieces of the conservative movement going at each other, because these people are in disarray. They can't win unless you give them a victory. You have to hand them over this victory. You know what I'm saying? Just like Satan. Satan can do stuff, but you give him all the information. We covered this in the midnight hour. Remember? You give him all the information he needs. He get it from you. They can't do nothing if you just hold the line. They're gonna continue to crumble. And that's this frustration. The frustration you're seeing with him is them crumbling. It's the hot gate moment for the Democratic Party. It's take everything, give them nothing, and take everything from them. You understand? No Spartan dies here today. That's what's happening.
No, not on my watch. I'm protecting Jersey today. I'm protecting our Constitution today. The Democratic Party needs a wake-up call. I see law firms bending a knee to this president, not caring about the larger principles, that those free speech rights, that you could take on any client. Why are you bending the knee? I see universities.
Yeah, they losing it. They losing it because they losing. Watch this, watch this. No, get off my screen. I don't know what you is. I don't need you right now. Watch this. I don't know why these Negroes got to act like that all the time. Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen the polling on the Democrats. Hold on, let me get the right thing. Hold up. Here it is. I'm sorry, we had to switch polls because CNN poll won't play. I mean, literally won't play on almost like the video. They did something to the video. It's crazy. The information don't want to get out there. But here we go. Let's just look at where they are right now. And you'll understand why Cory Booker's losing his mind. And he ain't got no choice because they made God their enemy.
Meantime, approval ratings for Democrats in a free fall. A new poll showing nearly 2/3 of registered voters have an unfavorable view of the party. President Trump suggesting a reason for the sinking numbers.
They wanted more tax, total censorship, transgender for everybody, men playing in women's sports, everything bad they wanted, and they still do. That's what they still do. That's why they're down at 15% or something. I saw it today, the lowest that the other part of the Democrats have ever been.
And with that, let's bring in Hugh Hewitt, host of the Hugh Hewitt Show and a Fox News contributor. Hugh, great to have you on as always. I want to give some context here and put this up on the screen. This is Call for One talking about what Americans prefer Republicans over Democrats on. You go look at the list: the economy plus 12, inflation plus 10, immigration plus 17, illegal immigration plus 24. The list goes on here. And you talk to Democrats and they know, Hugh, the numbers are bad. They just can't agree on how exactly to make them better.
Well, Trace, the number one thing you mentioned, 24% on illegal immigration. Voters remember that for the 2 years prior to the last presidential election, Democrats said they couldn't do anything about the border without new legislation. Donald Trump arrives and he closes the border in 2 months. And so they've got a long tail. They got a lot of burden to carry going forward. And what you heard the president in that clip just say, he rattled off inflation. It's tamed now. It wasn't tamed under Joe Biden. And Title IX, protecting girls and women's sports. That's very important to 80, 90% of Americans. Democrats are wrong about that. And then since the election, who's leading the Democrats? Well, Chuck Schumer has not exactly been a knight in shining armor for anything that they resemble. And they don't have a leader other than Zoran Mamdani. And, Comrade Mamdani in New York is not who I think I would want to be the brand of my party. So they're stuck. They're stuck in a hole. First rule of holes, stop digging. They haven't stopped digging. They keep digging deeper, and that means those kind of numbers.
Yeah, and it amazes me when you look at the numbers, you kind of delve deeper, you find that when it comes to the poll that struck the 8% of voters, 8% for Democrats view them, and the quote is very favorably. 8%, Hugh. That means, it's a total about face. Instead, as you say, they seem to be going in the same direction.
8% is a hair breadth away from nothing. And that's very unusual. Democratic Party used to be robust in year and out year. Whether they were in power or they were not in power, they were still seen as one of the two great parties. They have to come back to the center. They have to get at least to the center left. What they've done since the election, of course, is pull their hair, shout. They've adopted profanity and vulgarity as kind of a talking point, and that doesn't really work. And you look around, you wonder, where are the Bill Clinton Democrats? They were never this far down. What happened to them?
Yeah, it's a good question. Hugh Hewitt, great to have you on the show as well.
You see, the Bill Clinton Democrats are the establishment Democrats. Those are people like Jim Carvell, Donna Brazile, and the established Democrats are the ones that committed all the fraud. They're the ones that went through and helped Obama steal election, not steal election, that helped Joe Biden steal the election. So when he says, where are the Clinton Democrats? No, they scared and running. That's Comey, Brennan, and Clapper. So what's happened with the Democratic Party is now handed over to the Looney Tunes. And the Looney Tunes believe that boys can be girls. And the Looney Tunes believe that boys should compete with girls. And the Looney Tunes believe that boys should be in girls' bathrooms. And the Looney Tunes believe that everything should be free. Give us free. So the Democratic Party has literally been scattered. The only thing that has to happen is everybody needs to stop acting like they don't have no sense. Don't act like these dirty sandy beaches and stay the course. And the Democratic Party is going to be destroyed. Now, there's obstacles and traps and hurdles that people got to go over. But if we stay the course, it's a wrap for them. Yeah, it's a mighty, mighty victory at hand if people can stay the course. It's just a matter of people can stay the course and get out of their feelings. That Epstein thing got people in their feelings. And that opened the door, man. I told you, y'all learned in the midnight hour what the altar meant for Epstein and what it was doing. And that's just a constant line of inquiry where the Democrats and Satan can say, okay, let's see what other buttons we can push. Push here. Let's see how they respond. Push here. Let's see how they respond. Push here. Let's see how they respond. Somebody said, well, Doug Waters, that don't make no sense. You don't know what you're talking about. If you will recall, the very first person to say that Donald Trump was in the Epstein list, his name was Elon Musk. And Elon did it because he was pissed off and he did it out of pride. It just, when you understand it from a spiritual perspective, it all makes sense. It's just when we look at it from our flesh, none of it makes no sense. And when you understand, when you look at it from your flesh, you get upset. Man, I can't believe he did that. Nah, I can believe he did it. I can believe all of them did it. Diddy did it. Jay-Z did it. Beyonce did it. Barack Obama did it. They all did it. Yeah, hit the like button. I'll see y'all on the next video.